The scenic view behind me must have caught your attention, but that's how it is anywhere we travel in this region, because this is the beautiful Ladakh. You mention Ladakh and what comes to mind is snow-clad mountains, captivating views and monasteries. But while we capture all of that in this special feature, what brings timesofindia.com to this beautiful part of India is something else. It's ice hockey.
यहाँ पे हिस्ट्री कहते हैं कि 1970 से शुरू हुआ, तब वो मेरे ख्याल से आर्मी के थ्रू या कोई चाइना में खेलता या रशिया में खेलते देख के ये आर्मी के थ्रू 1970 से यहाँ पे स्टार्ट हुआ।
The snow-heavy region is most conducive to winter sports, but once players from strong ice hockey nations started coming to Ladakh for high-altitude training, the locals also started taking the sport more seriously.
2000 के बाद फॉरेनर जो इंडो कैनेडियन जो कप है वो आने लगा, तो बड़ा माहौल जो है, जो लोगों का दिलचस्पी जो है इस गेम में, बहुत हर किसी को जिसको गेम का थोड़ा सा नॉलेज है वो सारा आइस हॉकी में कूदा।
But with no proper facilities for ice hockey, all that was available to the local population of Ladakh as playing surfaces was the frozen ponds and lakes in winters, and it all started at Kargil.
तो यही है जो करजू पॉइंट, बड़ा फेमस, यहाँ भी इंटरनेशनल के लेवल पे भी बड़ा फेमस है करजू। जितने भी जो अभी इंडिया के लिए रिप्रेजेंट कर रहे हैं, जितने भी इंडिया का जो प्लेयर है वो यहीं से निकला हुआ है। या असली में ये जो एग्रीकल्चर पॉइंट है, यहाँ पे सर्दी में हम पानी भर के इसको जमा के यहीं पे टूर्नामेंट सारा है, प्रैक्टिस सारा यहीं पे होता है। आइस हॉकी का जो माँ है तो यही है।
As a child, we used to skate on the roadside, when the snowfall would be there. Then we came to know about these ice skates and all. So we got one from Chandigarh, and then the skate would come differently, So we would nail it on to the army shoes, and then we would use as a ice skating in the winters, and in summer we would use it as a normal shoes. Later we realized the ice hockey's blades are different. And then hockey also, we started off, what we understood was hockey means the field hockey. Few years we played with the field hockey only. The same way it goes with the puck. First we used to play with the round ball only, and then somebody said, oh, in ice hockey it's a flat one. Again with the army shoes, so we took off the heel and then we made it into a round one. Somebody suggested why not use the polish, the empty, shoe polish empty with this thing. So we filled it in with mitti and all, and then we would use it that way.
Before Ladakh bifurcated from Jammu and Kashmir and got the status of a union territory in 2019, athletes from Ladakh struggled to leave a mark. But things on the sporting front have looked up over the last 3 years.
Earlier we were just one district in Jammu and Kashmir state. So after the UT, the sports in general got a good attention from the UT administration, and ice hockey in particular.
After becoming the UT, our dream to have an international ice hockey rink, all weather. When we were a part of JNK, at that time they had given about 5 crore and they started, and it was lying for about 15-20 years.
It wasn't easy for those taking up the sport in Ladakh. From equipment to funds needed for travel, it was a continued struggle, forcing players to borrow gears or resort to crowdfunding. After the men, it was the turn of women players to face the same.
I think we've seen our share of challenge when it comes to fundings, when it came to gears, when it came for everything. And as you said, that it's not a mainstream sport. It's a sport that is developing in the country at the moment. So there is going to be this challenge. There was a huge challenge in the beginning, and I see it reducing now.
पहले ज़माने में लड़कियों का इतना चांस मिलता भी नहीं था स्केटिंग का, जो मिलते थे वो बॉयज़ को ज़्यादा मिलते थे, और लड़कियों के लिए इक्विपमेंट्स मिलना मुश्किल होता था। लड़कों का एकदम से वो लोग जुगाड़ करके लाते थे, लेकिन लड़कियों का थोड़ा प्रॉब्लम था कि एक तो साइज़ भी फिट नहीं होता था, जो बॉयज़ से हम बोरो करके लाते थे वो फिट भी नहीं होता था।
But as we witnessed, things are changing, to the extent that 2 new all-weather Olympic-size ice hockey rinks are coming up in Leh and Kargil, and that a delegation from International Ice Hockey Federation also visited Ladakh to inspect the site in Leh and provide their inputs.
We have gone to the ice hockey arena, which is under the construction. We also gave some inputs from the side of the IHF, actually, which can be implemented at this stage to the ice arena project. India is one of the best and one of the strongest country in the world in field hockey. So which brings India also in a very good position to play very well ice hockey.
जितने भी हमारे आइस हॉकी प्लेयर्स हैं उनका पुराना डिमांड है कि एक 24/7 आइस हॉकी रिंग, इंडोर रिंग होना चाहिए, जिससे कि बच्चे पूरे साल प्रैक्टिस कर सके और मैचेस कर सके। जब से यूटी बना तो उसके बाद में हमने इस चीज़ को अपने प्रोजेक्ट में लिया है। तो दोनों में, लेह में भी और करगिल में, दोनों डिस्ट्रिक्ट में इंडोर रिंग्स के ऊपर काम चल रहा है।
Coming back from the rink where we showed you the facilities where the Indian men's and women's ice hockey team trains, we stopped by at Leh, the capital of the Union Territory of Ladakh, at the Shanti Stupa that is behind me. Established in 1991, this site offers a panoramic view of Ladakh. Soon joining this beautiful landscape will be an ice hockey stadium situated in the heart of Leh, and the blueprint to take the sport to the next level has already been drafted.
My role in the project is to add an ice hockey component to all of this. The concept, the document itself, the blueprint, will come out as a plan leading into the future. The project is to take us from point A to point B, and right now we're at point A. And point A is, if you're going to make that travel, make that trip, you're going to need to know what we have currently, and that's been the first phase of this project. The first draft, the working draft, is over 100 pages right now, but it contains a lot of detail looking at 5 specific areas, but we're moving along quite nicely at this point. It's not finished yet. We still have some more information from this site visit to add to it, and then we should be in a final sign-off, if you will, by August.
It was interesting to learn what the players and officials told us about how they used to practice on the frozen ponds and lakes during the winter season here. But what's behind me is not a pond or a lake, it's the Indus River. We are on one of the banks of the river, which is an important part of the ecology and geography of this region, and meets the Zanskar River at the Sangam, which is a few kilometers away from here.
Till today there is about 30 clubs in Ladakh who are affiliated to us. And now we are on a good stage of ice hockey, because I think in India the national represent most Ladakhis. About 90% of the players is from Ladakh who represent India.
The sport will receive a major shot in the arm once the Ministry of Sports approves the Indian Ice Hockey Association as a national sports federation.
It will definitely help us, if they get recognition, then they'll get more fundings, and they'll be a proper federation like any other, like we have this hockey federation or the wrestling federation, same like that.
The most significant part of knowing Ladakh in the context of ice hockey is that even in the most trying circumstances, the locals and those involved with the sport take a lot of pride in their association with it.
We were invited by UT Ladakh to help them put together a blueprint for developing ice hockey in Ladakh. And our endeavor has really been to work with the Himalayan communities and see how can we develop this sport.
When you say ice hockey, just you'll see sparks in people's eyes.
एज ए कैप्टन इंडिया को रिप्रेजेंट किया.
अल्टीमेट ऑब्जेक्टिव तो यही कि गेम को ऊपर लेके जाना.
I think they're going down the right path now.
Best of luck and keep it up.
The pond behind me here in Gupuks, another beautiful location in Ladakh, is the most appropriate place to round it off. Right now it's full of water, but come September, October, it will start freezing to the point that it turns into a field for ice hockey. Something that unites the people here in Ladakh and brings a lot of joy to the small population. The same joy it has brought us in putting together this special story for you. Hope you enjoyed.
भारत माता की